Yes, hello. This is Tim Law with Plan It Forward Coaching and Self-Reliance U. I'm really happy to welcome our guest speaker today, Collin Wunsch, a graduate of Northeastern High School. He certainly has a good background with college and work experience that can be beneficial to anyone listening and looking to experience some of the things that he's learned already. Uh, so, Collin, could you kind of just tell us about your story, what you're doing, and how you got there?
Yeah, so I'm a 2017 Northeastern High School graduate. I'm currently in my last semester of my senior year at Slippery Rock University. And in April, I will receive my bachelor's degree in secondary education with a minor in American history. Ever since middle school, I've always loved history. I had a great history teacher, Mr. Raymond, and at Northeastern Middle School, and that's kind of what really got me in the focus of history, and then wanted to do something with it similar to what he did, and that's what kind of led me to teaching.
Excellent, excellent. Well, Mr. Raymond and I have been friends a very, very long time, and I can see why he would kind of light the fire of enthusiasm with history. He certainly makes it come alive. He's an outstanding teacher, educator, cares greatly about the kids, and we might even have to call this the Mr. Raymond video here, because I'm going to give him the heads up to check this out here at some point for sure. So what are some of the key life lessons that you've learned since graduating from high school, entering college, and then again, you're about to enter the workforce full time?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest lessons I've learned is really how much we decide how we look at situations, how we interpret them, and basically then how do we look to get through situations. I went through my junior year of high school a tough situation when my whole world kind of was flipped upside down. I was getting ready to be a star varsity soccer player, and 2 weeks before the season started, I got diagnosed with a heart condition, and I had to hang it up. I couldn't play soccer anymore, and that's where I thought my future was headed. But Coach, Coach kind of brought me in and took me under his wing and really helped me get through that difficult time through tennis. And now, I've kind of looked at that situation now as a blessing, because I've had so many opportunities now in coaching and with tennis that I never would have had with soccer. And so I think looking at that situation, life is going to throw some curveballs at you. It's going to throw some haymakers, and you're not going to always be able to dodge them. So I always think of the Rocky quote, it's not about how hard you hit, but how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. Just a great lesson to be learned is just how you look at a situation. It's going to help you get through it. Things are going to be tough. Things aren't always going to be the way you'd like them to be, but you have to get through situations, whether it be in a job, whether it be people you work with or you live with. I mean, you have to be able to work through situations, tough situations, and always think on the positive side of it. I think everything's a chance to gain some knowledge, and there's always a lesson to be learned. So any kind of situation that comes up, I think, is just an opportunity to learn, and it's all about how you view that situation is going to determine how well you get through it.
Yeah, very good, very good. What's interesting is that I'm going to kind of share the story behind you and I a little bit, because you and I didn't really know each other really
Right.
up until about your junior year. I mean, I knew who you were and everything like that, but for whatever reason, our paths hadn't really crossed much. And I can still remember that was because your junior year was my first year coaching the guys, and Coach Stevens asked me about taking it, and I said, well, first I turned him down on it, and then I went back because I spoke to my wife, and she says, well, why don't you take it? So anyway, I try to be a good husband and do what my wife says, and basically went back and saw Coach, and then realized that you were one of the few people with actual experience on the team, and I had found out about your scenario as far as the heart situation. And so I can remember talking to you, because at this point, Coach had you kind of working with helping them with the middle school soccer kids.
Right.
And so I approached you and just said, asked about you coming on, and I've never looked back. I mean, it was a great decision. And I can still remember, I'll give you another compliment you may not have heard before, but this is from Coach Coons of Dallastown. And we were up there on the hill talking, and you were down there playing your doubles with I'm trying to think who you might have been. It might have been Blake. I'm not sure.
Okay, yeah.
Dallastown that year. But anyway, Coach Coons turned to me and he says, that guy, meaning you, he really looks like an athlete, you know? And he was very, very impressed with the way you carried yourself, the maturity on the court, and, how hard you played, etc. So anyway, obviously we've gotten to know each other a lot better, since then. You've done a super job with the Tennis for Kids over there at Northeastern. Unfortunately, we couldn't do the Tennis for Kids in 2020, but hopefully we're going to be back in 2021. And you've got a good staff over there with you. So really applaud all the great work you've done up there at Slippery Rock. And so anyway, so what is your advice for those that may be going forward into college? Let's say you're high school juniors and seniors, or even people that are already in college.
Yeah, I think when you go to college, obviously there's a lot of new experiences, whether it's living on your own for the first time, kind of even picking your friends for the first time. So it's so important to always think of your future, because college is an investment, and it's an investment in yourself. And so I think for those going through college, it's about what can you do to make yourself desirable. And I think some of it, what I think of is the analogy of, you have to put the blood in the water for the sharks to come get you. And so you have to kind of make yourself desirable. You kind of have to make employers want to come get you. And so that's also that you can do in college. And whether it's getting involved in the right kind of clubs, making the right kind of connections with friends and professors and staff members at the university, or whether it's just, instead of going out to a party on a Friday or Saturday night, you just double down and you do the work, and you do the homework, and you do the studying, and you read books, and you have to be extraordinary in what you do and your work to be extraordinary, right? Like, extraordinary literally is extraordinary. So I always look at it as, if you want to be extraordinary, you have to be extraordinary by putting in extra work and doing the work ethic, because everyone's at college and has similar goals. It's kind of like, it's competition. Everyone you're in class with, that's your competition, and they're all looking for the same job. So you have to do something different to put yourself above and beyond, because employers aren't going to look in the middle of their class, right? Like, they're going to go to the top. They want the cream of the crop. So you have to make yourself desirable and kind of put that blood in the water and let the sharks come get you.
No, I like that. I like that metaphor, Collin. One of the things, and we've talked about this before, is kind of 3 keys on how to become the hunted, where people are actually looking for you.
Right.
And certainly that, the first one has to do with, develop a good work ethic. These guys are not paying you to hang out on your phone or on your screens.
Right.
And unfortunately, there's a lot of people of all ages. We're not even just talking about just young people, but just people of all ages that are spending a huge amount of time doing that, even when they're on the clock for the boss. Now, flip that around. If you were the boss, would you want to be paying for somebody that was spending huge amounts of time doing that? I mean, you'd have to be foolish to even think that way. Yep. So basically being able to have that good work ethic, develop those people skills. And again, I always go back to that Dale Carnegie book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, for those people skills. And then the final key one for becoming the hunted is going above and beyond, going the extra mile, doing more than is expected of you. And by doing that, it literally, like you said, it with your great metaphor, kind of putting the blood in the water for the, people that are looking for good quality people to come after you. So absolutely a great, good idea there as far as that's concerned. Any other ideas that you'd like to share with teens or young adults?
Yeah, I think especially for high schoolers, when you're looking at going to college, and it's obviously really intimidating to be 18 years old and having to kind of decide, what do you want to do for the rest of your life? That's kind of, it can be intimidating, it can be scary. And I think one thing that I've kind of thought about is, when I was making that decision, obviously, like I said, I wanted to do something in history, and I didn't know exactly what it was at first. And instead of asking myself, what do I want to do? I started asking myself, who do I want to be? And what type of person do I want to be? Who do I want to be? And that kind of helped get me to the point where I'm at now, where, I don't want to teach. I want to be a teacher. I want to be a role model. I want to be a leader in the classroom. I want to be someone that, can spark that passion for whether it's history or just school in general. I want to be able to be that person like Mr. Raymond was for me. I want to be that for somebody else. And I think, it's no problem with going to college and being undecided and having an open mind and experiment with different things. But I think, it's a better question to ask yourself, who do you want to be? I think that'll lead kids to the right track to what they want to do when they get to college and when they graduate college and move into the workforce.
Right. Excellent. Excellent. Really, really well said. If anyone had any further questions for you, Collin, if you could repeat this as far as your number, as well as potential email for somebody looking to, reach out and talk to you about this type of thing, how could they contact you?
Yeah. So my cell phone number is 717-818-8339. I'm always open to talk or text. And then I can be reached through an email address at cd.wunsch@yahoo.com. Again, my phone number is 717-818-8339, and my email is cd.wunsch@yahoo.com.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you, Collin. This has been outstanding, and I certainly appreciate your time. It took a little bit for us to kind of pull this together, and it's more my fault than anything because I'm working on my technology skills, which are probably about the same as my parking skills, which you guys always made fun of for sure, But as I said, you've always been a pleasure to coach. You're extremely coachable. You got a great work ethic, and you're one of these guys that, because you do have those traits going for you, it makes this coach who's been around the horn a little bit for a while very, very interested in trying to pass on certain things that I've learned to real go-getters like yourself. So thank you very, very much. I appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you as well, Coach.
Okay.